Yes, Srimati Indira ji nationalized banks. There was a purpose, and that purpose probably was served, partly served, fully served. I'm not getting into that. Today we have quite a few number of banks, some performing very well, some performing probably just about all right. And they have a very big role to play, there is no doubt. But yet, we need banks which are going to be able to scale up. So we have even announced, and recently, 1 year ago, 1.5 years ago, in fact one before also during 2016-17, amalgamating banks so that you have banks big enough. Like I think I have even said before, we need banks of the size of State Bank of India in this country, many more of them. So we have brought in banks which are going to be able to meet the aspirational needs of this country. And also, because these need not be a subjective on-the-spot decision, we've announced a public enterprise policy, based on which we have identified those 4 areas in which we said government presence, public sector presence will be there, and bare minimum presence is what we have said. In that, financial institutions are also there, meaning even in financial sector, we will still have the presence of public sector enterprise, which, for your immediate answer, means that not all of them are going to be privatized. First point. Second, even for those which are likely to be privatized, we are obviously going to have to keep in mind that these privatized institutions will also continue to function after the privatization. We'll also have to ensure that the staff or the personnel who are there, their every interest will be protected. So we will ensure that we are not going to be disinvesting, or we are not going to be selling them off because whatever may happen to them, we are not worried. No, we want financial institutions to get more equity, more people to put in money into them to make them sustainable. We also want their staff to be able to perform the duties which they have really acquired as a skill over the decades and run the banks. So, very quickly, if you kindly have a look at the public sector enterprise policy which we have come out with and identified those core sectors in which the presence of public sector enterprises will still continue, even financial sector is in it. So, to immediately, quickly conclude saying, oh, every bank is going to be sold off, is not right. And even whether it is banks or any other privatization, I want to take this opportunity to tell, through you, the media, that the interest of the workers, interest of those who have put in services over the decades will absolutely be protected. Whether it is their salaries, whether it is their scale, whether it is their pension, it will all be taken care of. And above all, the first premise that I would like to put before you is, even when we speak of privatization or disinvestment, we recognize that each one of those units perform for the economy. So if there is a coal unit or a thermal unit or a hydro unit or a steel unit, the intention is, if there are people who would run it, putting more money in them, we still need those power which it produces, still need the coal which comes out of it, still need the steel which comes out of it, still need the banks to reach out to the people. And for these units to function with more money coming in, with more specialization, with more modernization, we need to have some investment come from others. And purely, let us also understand, if, for instance, we want to sell it to retail buyers within India, it is our duty to ensure that the workers' interests are protected, that institution runs further, produces that which we are not able to put in more money to produce. So, first assumption is not to take that it is going to be closed, people are going to be removed. No, not at all. All these factors are being kept in mind. I want to assure you through the media that it is not a quick decision. We have applied a lot of mind, and also we are very conscious of the interest of the workers in very many of these institutions. So, I don't know if it answers your question. Yes. Thank you for raising that issue. No, thank you for raising that issue. And that is why I thought I should take this opportunity to give you an elaborate answer. But your question by itself would have had my answer come in all its detail. Since you brought in Rahul Gandhi, who probably has outsourced his comments to, I don't know, very hardcore communists will give you, solid two-liners to say this is what is happening. Exploitation, profit, loss. These pet kind of quotations or using two-liners does not help the situation. As a leader of the opposition party, a leader representing a very big party, I would want him to engage in serious discussions rather than throw these kind of two-liners every now and then. What did he say? Privatizing profits and nationalizing loss. ऐसे कुछ ना? Privatizing profits and nationalizing loss. ऐसे कुछ बोला है ना? आप बोल रहे थे? ऐसे कुछ बोले हैं ना? No, I have replied, but since you quoted, I thought I have double checked with you if the quotation is right. नहीं, वो बात है ना, उनका यही कहना था ना, privatizing profit and nationalizing loss. प्रॉफिट लॉस के ऊपर आज अचानक कितने ध्यान दे रहे हैं, जबकि इन इस गवर्नमेंट ओवर द डिकेड्स, आई थिंक व्हाट दे हैव ट्राइड इज ओनली टू प्राइवेटाइज टैक्स पेयर्स मनी. If I want to, in a light-hearted fashion, use the style of speaking which he has done, he accuses us of what? Privatizing profit. When in his government, they were privatizing taxpayers' money. You all know how. Privatizing taxpayers' money was what UPA government did. And probably even privatizing taxpayers' money for one family's betterment. So privatizing is only that. And second, nationalizing loss, did he say? Today public sector banks are loss-making and prompt corrective actions are bringing them out because of the telephone banking which happened during his time. His dadi would have probably nationalized the banks, but nationalizing of loss in the banks was during UPA's time. And I would want to add one more. Nationalizing corruption is what they did. So nationalizing corruption and privatizing taxpayers' money for the betterment of one family is all that Rahul Gandhi will have to take as a reply for that tweet which probably some outsourced fellow in his team is feeding him with. I think there should be some more intense homework done by Rahul Gandhi before he even starts speaking and throwing these kind of things using a spit and run technique. Stand there. Be ready for a negotiation or be ready for a discussion. You raise your points, we'll also answer you. Not throw allegations and go away. Thank you.